We look ahead now in your back to school coverage. Rockingham County Schools Board of Education will have an emergency meeting this morning to discuss their return to school plan. The board says the meeting is being called due to unexpected circumstances surrounding the COVID pandemic. That meeting is set for 10 o'clock this morning. And we also want to tell you something new this morning. Monday is the first day of school for most of the Triad. We have one more weekend to go before those teachers and students head back to class. We sat down with the Randolph County Superintendent about the district's plans. Face coverings will be optional in Randolph County schools this year. Superintendent Stephen Gainey says there are several safety standards in place. That includes limited access to campuses. The district leader says parents and visitors will not be allowed to go into school buildings during the day or before and after school, but parents of kindergarten and first grade students can walk their kids to class during the first week. The superintendent tells us he looks forward to getting back to basics and welcoming families to the new school year.
Relationships are very important to me. The people issue of this business is important to me, and I believe if you get that in a positive way, the other stuff comes along. Children get comfortable, parents get comfortable, children learn, children improve academically as time goes on.
And Superintendent Gainey also said the district will continue to do everything it can to keep everyone safe. He says the school system will assess if any COVID-19 protocols need to change for those who choose not to attend school in person this year. Gainey says there is a new virtual academy for grades K through 8, and high school students continue to have virtual options that have already existed for years.
6:05 on your Friday. Today we are expecting another update from President Biden on the situation in Afghanistan. Tens of thousands of U.S. citizens and Afghan allies still need to be airlifted before his August 31st deadline. Jared Hill is live in our Washington bureau this morning as questions continue to swirl about what went wrong in the troop withdrawal. Jared, good morning.
Yeah, Jackie, and both the House and the Senate say that they're planning on holding hearings starting next week to look into what is considered at least a messy withdrawal from Afghanistan. Meanwhile, the White House and federal officials say that they're ramping up evacuations to try and meet the president's deadline. Now, a White House official is reporting that 3,000 or so people were flown out of Afghanistan on Thursday. That's up from the 1,800 the day before, but the airport can deal with up to 9,000 each day. One of the obstacles, according to the Pentagon, is that many of the Taliban fighters manning checkpoints around the airport can't read the credentials that are needed to get past and onto the airport and onto the planes. President Biden has said that there is some flexibility in that August 31st evacuation deadline in order to get Americans out. But the Pentagon says right now it doesn't look like they'll need to push it back.
If and when there's a decision to change that, then obviously that would require additional conversations with the Taliban as well.
Now, the White House is also admitting here that they don't know exactly how many Americans still need to get out of Afghanistan because there was never a hard number to begin with when it comes to how many were actually in the country. Reporting live in Washington, I'm Jared Hill for WXII 12 News.
Jared, thank you. Happening now at 6:07. Police are investigating a North Carolina man who allegedly made a bomb threat outside the Library of Congress in D.C. yesterday. That man, 49-year-old Floyd Roseberry, is from Grover in Cleveland County, North Carolina, and he is in custody this morning. Police say he drove his truck up to the Library of Congress and told them he had a bomb. An officer reports seeing what he thought looked like a detonator in that man's hand. No explosives ended up being found. Investigators say there were bomb-making materials, though. There was a 5-hour standoff with police. Local and federal law enforcement also searched Roseberry's home in Grover. And Roseberry's wife tells our NBC affiliate in Washington, D.C., he left home saying he was going on a fishing trip.
We're looking for potential explosive devices or any type of explosive materials. We have no reason to believe that there's any danger to the community here in Cleveland County, but that is our goal, to eliminate any possible threats here. As I said, we don't believe there's any threat here in the area.
Authorities have not released a motive at this time. In a since deleted Facebook post, Roseberry said, quote, "The revolution is on," and that he would, quote, "die for this land."
Looking ahead now, the U.S. Coast Guard is expected to hold interviews on hurricane preparedness today in Houston. A member will discuss how people can protect their families and others in a hurricane. The Coast Guard will also provide tips and safety messages about hurricane season. 2 people are dead and dozens more are missing after this week's flooding in Haywood County, North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper and Senator Thom Tillis were both in Haywood County yesterday to tour the storm damage. Here's Keely Arthur with more.
This is definitely one of the most impacted places.
Canton Mayor Zeb Smathers gave Senator Thom Tillis a first-hand look at the devastation in his town. During the tour, Tillis stopped to promise relief.
Senator Burr and I will do everything we can to provide support and get it through the FEMA process.
And support is badly needed.
We're doing the best to kind of patch things together and keep things rolling.
The owner of Bear Waters Brewery told Tillis it's already been tough enough because of COVID.
We were shut down for one quarter, and then we were at 50% for the rest of the year. So it's just really hard to go back to back with a pandemic and then be hit with a massive flood like this.
While businesses pick up the pieces, first responders are focused on finding the 20 still missing.
And how realistic is it that you're going to find people alive?
We're going to always lean on that side of hope that we may find somebody that is still alive that needs our help.